Well, hello everyone and welcome to Suzuka for round 15 of Season 4, my F1 2012 career mode. I'm LoveSpuds, and there's only 6 races to go, including this one. I hope that's right, otherwise I've just made a complete arse of myself. So getting close to the end of the season and the end of the series. Hope some of it hasn't been too boring for you lot out there, especially with me being out in front most of the time in some of the races, but never mind. Today is going to be different, as you will see later on in the race, and you might have gathered that from the description as well. I'd say I was not happy at the end of the day, but you will find out when we get there. For now, it's the qualifying lap. It's Q3, got through pretty easily. After ages of trying to find a decent setup, I've finally found one that at least lets me stay on the same pace as the other guys and gives me, you know, a good feeling for the corners. Not too many lock-ups, so I do quite a few, but it feels okay. It's the best I've felt in the car on this track so far, so I went with it. Took a bit of a gamble because I didn't know how well exactly it would perform against the other guys. But there's the benchmark. Alonso sets the fastest lap of 1:34.8. Schumacher just beat that, but I am 5/10ths up on that, on Schumacher's time, so I'm looking for a 1:34.2 possibly. Do lose a bit of time here though, which is unfortunate. Button goes into 8th there, which is interesting. At least he's in the top 10. But I come across the line and do manage a 600ths of a second faster than Schumacher. Just saved it right at the end there, and then I just see how the rest of the qualifying session goes. Grosjean tried to nick a pole from me, but only managed to get within 8,000th of a second. So not much separating the top 4 or 5 of the cars there. So let's see what we can do in the race. So you got 2 Lotuses behind me. I'm going to move across to defend my position straight away. I'm going to try and keep that line, move over a little bit. I don't know what happened there, but he definitely had hold of me there. And Grosjean has ended up at the back. It looks like, according to that graphic down there, and it looks like he stopped as well. Definitely stopped. So I checked the replay, and it actually turns out it was almost like the same thing that happened with me and Schumacher at Hungary, where he tried to go up the thinnest part of the track, didn't have enough room, we ended up connecting and I got thrown off onto the grass, but recovered it, and Schumacher recovered it as well to overtake me. But this time Grosjean didn't recover, he spun around and now he's actually retired as well. So yeah, that's my rival out of the way, as bad as it was. He obviously didn't want to back off into that first corner, which is a bit of a shame. I could have left him a bit of room, but just trying to keep him behind. I was just hoping he would back off there. But that's one Lotus down, and it looks like I've got Jensen up in the top 5 at least. Not going to be able to get much of a gap on Raikkonen here. Not on these options. I'd do a lot better on the prime tyres, and I would be doing a lot better if I didn't have corner taking skills like that as well. But never mind, it gets better. Yeah, Grosjean 24th, he is out of the race. Button's up in 4th, which is amazing. I wish he would be up there more often, because this means we could get some rather lovely points in the Constructors' Championship. Accidentally looked behind there. I mean, I didn't really need to look behind. I mean, I knew they were there. Just that I do move my hands around the controller sometimes just to readjust them, and I do knock buttons occasionally. But anyway, lap 2. A long way to go yet. As short as these races are, they do feel quite long sometimes, especially on tracks with lots of corners, and especially on tracks that I'm not too great at. I'm not too bad on this circuit with the right setup. Can end up doing quite well, but a lot of the time, especially on the option tyres, they do catch up to me pretty easily. you can see, Rosberg is still right behind me, so is Raikkonen. See, as you can see on the map, I've got a little bit of a train forming behind me. So see what they can do. Looks like I got into my slipstream there, but I'm just going to stay right where I am. Should be okay. He's right behind me, but it's just too much. Too much for him, especially around the 130R. It's not going to happen. So here we go for another lap. Slightly faster, Button's still in 4th. I think he is lacking pace though. That's something I noticed throughout the whole race, that he does lack pace compared to the other top cars. I noticed that he tends to drop off the back of trains behind me, that's for sure. Which means I am slightly faster than him, but still, it's not great, is it? Especially in the constructors battle, which is why he's been finishing so low down. For some reason the bloody McLaren has gone a bit crap. Not as bad as real life 2013, but still. Actually it kind of is. But for one driver. I'm doing alright, I'm leading the championship. I could win the championship by India, if all goes well. Which is always an interesting prospect. Definitely won't be the closest championship fight in F1 history, especially with my more stronger tracks coming up as well, Abu Dhabi and America, for example, and possibly Brazil as well now, after my performance last year, but it could all be different this year, you never know. I could end up suffering the bug, the tyre temperature bug, in America like I did 2 seasons ago with a Mercedes. That was rather silly. Nearly cost me the championship. Hey ho. But there is another conspiracy going on today, and it involves the pits. But we'll get onto that when we get to that point, which will be in a few laps' time. Rosberg is still having another look at me. He's going to try and overtake me again next time round, I think. I think I'll forget about it next time round and forget to deploy a lot of my curves, but never mind. He is a few tenths faster than us, but we are sort of keeping to the pace right now. Raikkonen's still harassing him as well. Those bends terrify me a little bit, especially the last one, especially when you can run out just a little bit too wide and you can end up messing up your whole day. It's kind of freaky, but it's kind of fun at the same time. I don't mind Suzuka as a track, to be honest. I always love to do well around here. It's one of those lovely classic tracks that has sort of become an icon, sort of mainstay of Formula 1. Apart from those few Grand Prix in Fuji or something. But looks like Suzuka is the place to be for F1, and I hope it continues that way. But anyway, let's get back to the action. Still within half a second, so he's going to have another go on the pit straight. See if I can get a half decent run out of here. It was okay, but nothing fantastic. He's going to be right on me again. You see my tyres are starting to wear out now. He's going to come flying past. See how much overspeed he's got on me? But I'm going to just cut back right in there. Get on the inside of that corner. Take the lead again. It's not today, Mr. Rosberg. Not today. Although the stewards have other plans for me later on, to make my efforts in a bit of vain. But for now, I am in the lead. Right where I want to be. If we finished in these positions, I'm pretty sure McLaren would be topping the constructors table. We have at 37 points, I think it is. 25 plus 12. Yes, that sounds about right. But we will see. did say I needed a pit in this lap, didn't it? I believe so. I think that's why I'm using up my curves again. I think that's my thing. I use a lot of my curves on this straight before the 130 are. Yeah, pit stop. So now you get to see what the bloody hell's happened to this race for me. Not going into the pits. Going into the pits was absolutely fine. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Going into my pits. Pit stop there. Change my tyres. All going smoothly. 3.1 seconds, very quick stop. Buttons in second, so this is very good. I could be happy with a podium at least. I'd be happy with third, just to keep Button safe and in front. But look what happens here. Keep your eye on the white line on the left. What the frick? What's that about? Did you see at any point did I even go near the white line? You do not know how much that really pissed me off. I could have restarted the race, yes, because that was not my fault at all. But there was no way I was going to restart, not with Grosjean out of the race being my rival, and Jensen being this far up in second place. I was thinking of the constructors' points I was going to get from this. So I thought, sod it, I'll take a drive through, carry on. And Petrov is being damn slow. I didn't realise he was that bloody slow. I was like, what are you doing, you bloody granny driver?
Jensen's 4 places up on you.
So that ruined my day, so I'm not going to get the win, unfortunately. Because Rosberg is going to be way too far ahead unless Jensen can somehow leapfrog him in the pits, which is kind of unlikely. But by this point I was really pissed off. I was driving for vengeance nearly. And then this happens. We just go sliding off there, so I thought, oh, that's fine, I'll just cut the corner a little bit. And then I get another penalty. Yeah, shit happens, and it happens twice. Unsportsmanlike behaviour. I did a bit of corner cutting us. I was expecting a warning at the very most, but obviously I cut it too much. And I got another freaking penalty. If I didn't get that penalty, I would be fine to catch up to Glock and the rest of the guys up there. But that's my day ruined. Well, let's be fair, if that bloody pit lane bug penalty thing had never happened, then, you know, everything would have been fine. I probably would have been on for a podium finish at the very least. But now I've got to try my best to catch up to the other guys. And you're going to have to excuse me a second because I'm going to sneeze.
You're about 6 seconds away from the next car. Keep pushing and hopefully it will start to decrease.
Hopefully you did not hear that. I think I might sneeze again actually. Oh my god, what's going on? Oh, no, I'm not going to sneeze just yet. Why is it whenever I want to record something, my nose plays up? But anyway. Yes, because Britain is still in the grips of a lovely heat wave, and it's going to make hay fever sufferers suffer even more. Apparently it's going to be the worst hay fever for some time this year. And I do suffer a little bit from hay fever. I'm not overly dramatic with it, I suppose you could say. I don't sneeze every 5 seconds. Like, I do sneeze in succession sometimes, but not all the time. I don't get the runny eyes, I don't get affected that much. I just pop a pill and that's it. So that's all good. But of course, when I went to record anything, you know, I end up trying to sneeze. But there you go, here's another bloody, what's it called? Not a stop-go penalty, a drive-through penalty. And I pretty much took the same line out of the pits, did I not, just then? What I want to know is how the pissing balls did I get a crossing the white pit lane exit penalty.
We think the car behind is running on 4 revs. He's trying to close the gap.
But anyway, now I've got Petrov behind me. I should easily build a gap from him. I've got 18 seconds to catch up on. And then not many laps to do it in. It's going to be, quite frankly, impossible. Let's just see how far I can catch up. Because by now I'm just driving... I'm driving angry. And surprisingly, I don't make too many mistakes. But there's... You know, I do push it a little bit. So yes, that was the scandal of the Japanese Grand Prix. Someone obviously paid off the marshals. Because I have no idea what happened there. But anyway, that's what happens. I was due to have a bug at some point in the season, and that was it.
4 seconds separates us from the car behind. 4 seconds.
So that's knocked me completely out of the points. It's a good job Jensen's up there in second to at least grab 18 points. As long as he finishes there. Because I can see on the map he is being harassed quite a bit by the third place man, who I think is Raikkonen. As long as he can keep Raikkonen behind him, it's all good. You can grab them 18 points. It's not going to be great because Rosberg's out in front and Mercedes are leading the Constructors' Championships. They might end up pulling a gap as long as he finishes in first and doesn't retire somehow. So unfortunately it's probably cost us a potential lead of the Constructors. So I am rather pissed off at this point, I really am. Because I'm pretty sure I could have got a podium finish at the very least. I would have even been Button's wingman because I don't need the points particularly. I could, you know, get the championship over and done with a bit quicker. But I'd rather have Jensen finishing up on the podium or winning the race, and then me just keeping everyone back. I mean, that's the sort of team play I want to see. But I never got the chance to do that, so you're just going to watch me slowly eating away the gap to Glock for the rest of this race. And if that bores you, then you might want to switch off now or skip to the results. But for now, I'm just going to quickly have a look at the Young Drivers Test results for day 3, which was yesterday. Looks like Susie Wolf impressed quite a few people, finishing about mid-table in the standings, which is not bad at all, only 4/10 off the other Williams driver, I think. So I think that's what it was. But done pretty well. Williams is where it is. It's not really higher than a Ferrari, Red Bull, Toro Rosso at the moment. But obviously, you know, as much as she probably impressed, it's probably not quite enough to secure her a race seat anytime soon. I just hope she does improve with time. But obviously time is running out for her. She's about 30 odd now. Just about 30. So yeah. Even if she did get into F1, it'd be a bit of a short career. She probably could get a few years out of it. But it's just nice to see women in Formula 1. It's not a bad idea whatsoever, as long as they're quick. But obviously, who's at the top of the timesheets? It is Mr. Vettel, actually setting the quickest time of the whole driver's test, but that's not particularly surprising, considering that he doesn't have much competition, especially with not many other race drivers there. You only really had Massa, Peak, Bianchi, Verne, and Sutil. The others were all young drivers, pretty much getting their first or second taste of a Formula 1 car. But yeah, well, it's kind of worrying that they are that quick, especially on a track that was really, really hot over the last few days as well in Silverstone. Track temperature really hot, hotter than it was during the race, that's for sure. So yeah, it's quite disconcerting really, I have to admit. You don't want to see Red Bull out in front again, not you know, just Vettel sitting at the front getting pole and then just driving away with it like he usually did in 2011. I just hope Mercedes could at least stay on the pace at the very least, or at least in qualifying anyway. Maybe even Lotus can pick up some pace.
There's a gap of 12 seconds between you and the next guy. Let's push now.
But obviously the proof is in the pudding, and you will see over the next few races. Apparently another person who impressed as well was
I think this might be our finish
Sainz
today, so don't take any
Sainz
risks. Bring the
Jr.
car home.
I don't know how you say his name, to be honest.
You're currently matching race pace.
But he
Good
done
job.
very well, I have to say. 1:33.5,
Great work. That's a new fastest lap
10th
for the race.
pretty much a 10th faster than Massa in the Ferrari. So the kid does have some promise. Nicholas Prost as well, son of Alan Prost, I believe. Also done very well in the Lotus. 83 laps, fastest lap 1:33.2, only 4/10 off Vettel's time pretty much, so not bad at all for him. So yeah, well, hopefully we'll get to see some more analysis over, I don't know, next few days maybe of the Young Drivers test, but we won't be able to see what the actual benefits are until like next race or Spa, for example. See if the team's actually learnt anything in particular. But there we go. And there you can see 9.3 seconds to Glock. I've been closing the gap steadily over the last few laps, been setting fastest lap after fastest lap. I think this one's going to be another fastest lap. It's looking good. It's going to be a 1:36.7, another 2/10 off.
Excellent pace. We're much faster than Glock. Keep pushing.
Though unfortunately, if this was 100% race, a 50% race, I would have had the time to catch up to Glock and possibly get back up to the podium positions. But unfortunately it's not, it's only 25%, 13 laps was never going to be enough, and the fact that I got another penalty on top of a penalty just completely ruined my day. I could have minimised the damage by not cutting that corner so severely, but then again I should never have got that pit lane exit penalty in the first place. So you could look at it either way. On the one hand it's my fault, on the other hand it's not. But I absolutely categorically believe I did nothing wrong coming out of the pits, so there you go. See, Jensen's just holding on in there. He's doing quite well actually. He's holding him off in the DRS zone, which is amazing. But yeah, there you go. Nico Rosberg has come through to win the race. Another 25 points for his team. Where the hell did Schumacher finish? I need to check that, to be honest. Just need to have a look. And that's just so close to the guys in front. I mean, I think like 4 more laps and I probably could have got onto the back of them. But I'm going to come through and take 12. No points today. Just a disappointing day of fail. So Button finished second and Grosjean crashed out on the first lap, first corner. Grosjean is as Grosjean does.
Congratulations on a solid 12th place. Good drive.
Don't
Good
you
drive.
patronise me, you bloody bastard. Don't give me congratulations on 12th, I should never have been that low. So basically if we took those 20 seconds off, let's say 20 seconds was the time I spent going through the pits, by that logic, I would have been second. Although I probably would have just stuck to third. Oh, Mark Webber was in third somehow. Kimi actually fell back 2 places to 5th. That's interesting. So Webber makes it onto the podium. Schumacher finishes out the points, so he doesn't score any points for the team. That's good. Keeps Mercedes within striking distance. And Ferrari's falling off the pace dramatically, that's for sure. But there you go, the Drivers' Championship. We've got 2 race wins in hand now, after that poor display by the game. So yeah, Nico does close up the gap, but it's not really a big problem. Jensen moves up to 7th on 72 points there. And Lewis just sitting at the bottom there, doing his own thing, taking the year out. Yeah, so Rosberg, Grosjean, Alonso, Schumacher, Raikkonen, and then Button, Webber, Vettel, and Maldonado. There you go. In the constructors, unfortunately, we didn't get that double podium, so Mercedes have increased their lead slightly to 14 points in front of us. We got a bit more of a gap to Lotus thanks to Grosjean crashing out and Kimi finishing only 5th, which is okay, I suppose, but we're still a bit under threat from them. And then they got the gap to Ferrari, Red Bull, Williams, Marussia, and Sauber in front of Marussia. But anyway, before I start waffling and missing the end of this video, I'm going to say goodbye and join me next time for round 16 in Korea. I'll see you then.